Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope your day is going very well. Depending on the type of Rust server that you're actually running, you may actually want to prevent your players from being able to raid other bases for a certain length of time after a fresh wipe. Well, I found a plugin that I know for sure is not a new plugin. It's just not one that I've ever used in the past. I know for some of you out there, this plugin is going to be very handy. So let's check out wipe protection. Hey guys, welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you guys the very best tips and tricks to owning and operating a successful Rust server. On this channel, I do a lot of plugin reviews and tutorials to hopefully teach you some of the ins and the outs of running a server, updating a server, and modding servers. So if you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on everything that we're working on. And of course, as always, if you take any value out of this video, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up for me. All right, let's get into wipe protection. And clearly, as you can tell, it's hard to actually say the words wipe protection and have the P in the middle actually sound like you're saying two different P's. I've had to do this part of the video over 5 or 10 times because it keeps sounding like I'm saying wipe protection, white protection, whatever. Let's move on. All right, so wipe protection, like I said at the beginning, it basically creates a time period where there is no raiding allowed on your server. And by default, this is set up for 24 hours. So the plugin automatically detects when there's been a new map save, which usually indicates that there's been a wipe. Therefore, it then starts a 24-hour countdown timer. So for that 24 hours, no damage can be done to other buildings. There are some permissions involved with this plugin, and I'm going to explain why. So basically, there's only one permission, which basically gives you control over the plugin itself. So you're able to start the wipe protection and end the wipe protection. And the reasoning for that is because the developer of the plugin has actually come right out and said that they don't trust the hook that the plugin uses to tell when there's been a new map save. So if for whatever reason you're finding that your wipe protection isn't actually activating after a fresh wipe, then you can manually start the wipe protection. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and install this plugin onto my test server. If you've never installed a plugin, make sure you check the video in the top right hand corner right now. It just shows you how to install a Umod plugin and what to expect while you're doing that. But make sure you come back to this one so we can finish up with wipe protection. And this is what our default configuration file is going to look like once we've actually installed the plugin. There's only a couple of different options that you need to make decisions on. Do you want to broadcast a chat when raid block has ended? True or false? By default, this is set to true. Do you want to message the admins when they connect to your server to let them know how much time is left on the raid block? True or false? This is set to true. And of course, you can set your wipe protection. By default, this is set to 24 hours. You can literally make this as long as you want. And then down below that is the refunding option. So if somebody does try to raid another base during that raid block period, do you want to refund the resources that they used during that raid attempt? Yes or no? By default, this is set to true. So if somebody does try to raid another player's base, it's going to refund that stuff back into their inventory and obviously not cause any damage to that player's base. By default, these values are all set to true. So if you don't want to refund that player the resources that they spent on that raid attempt, then toggle this to false and they won't get those materials back. So once we're in game, to deal with the permission that I discussed earlier, you can just open up your favorite permissions manager. In this case, I'm using AdminMenu. You can, of course, use permissions manager itself. If you're unfamiliar with either one of these plugins, make sure you check the video in the top right-hand corner right now. It shows you both of these tools, how I use them, and why I think you should also use them. This one that you're looking at on the screen right now is available from Chaos Code, which means it does cost money. The other one that I'm talking about, which is actually called Permissions Manager, is free and is available from Steenamaroo. All of those details, though, are in that video. So if you're interested in working with the permissions manager, make sure you check out that video. All right, so the only permission that we need to deal with right here is the one right in the center of my screen right now, and that is wipeprotection.use. So we will toggle that on for the group called admin only. We don't want default players to have access to this ability. And now that we have that permission, of course, we can toggle this raid protection on or off simply by doing /WP space start. It's going to start the 24-hour timer, or if for whatever reason we want to manually end that timer, we can do that too. We can simply use the command /WP space stop. That's going to stop the 24-hour countdown timer and obviously allow raiding to go back to normal. It says in chat there, everything is now raidable because we've now shut off that timer. I'll just turn it back on there. It says manual setting. It gives you the date, the time, and then it also tells you at what point the protection is going to expire, and then raiding can go back to normal. So this plugin might not necessarily be for everybody. Let's say you have a really low population server and maybe you want to give your players 24 hours or 48 hours to actually get situated in their base before all the raiding and madness begins. Well, this plugin does exactly that. It allows you to set that protection in place so that people have that time to do whatever it is that they need to do to get started, to get situated, maybe even to prepare for a big raid day or something like that. There's a multitude of different reasons why you might want to use this plugin on your server. You get to decide whether this works for you. And because the default configuration file is set to notify any administrators what the status of the RAID protection actually is, every time they log into the server, we're going to get that in chat. I just logged out of my test server and logged back in, and this is the message that I got in chat. So it simply just tells you the date and time that the wipe protection is going to end. And then of course, for everybody else that's in the server that isn't an admin or a moderator, they're going to get notified as the protection ends in real time. So 24 hours after a wipe period, or whatever time frame you decided in your configuration file, it's going to notify the players that raiding is now available. There you go. That's wipe protection. I know there are some server owners that do want to use this plugin. I don't know how many people are actually using this right now. I know I have played on servers in the past that have this. I've never actually considered using it on one of my servers, but it is a good idea, especially for low pop servers. You got to remember what it was like when you first started playing Rust. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen to you? You've got an inventory, you're just about ready to start building a base, and somebody comes along and just destroys everything that you've been doing and steals all your stuff and chops up your bag. This is a really great little plugin that's going to prevent that from happening. What are we all trying to do here? We're trying to keep players on our server, and this is a very good way of preventing that rage quit from happening from your server. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far through the video, I super appreciate you watching right till the very end. If you'd like to help support the channel and become one of these names that you see scrolling across the screen right now, make sure you check me out at patreon.com/srtbull. Not only are you helping support the channel and the production of the videos that are hosted within it, but like I said before, you get your name mentioned just like this at the end of each one of my videos. Plus you get special Discord permissions. You get your very own private chat where you can chat with me and the other patrons. So if that interests you at all, make sure you check me out at patreon.com/srtbull. I would also like to mention before I let you guys go that Con, the developer of the GUI shop plugin, has just recently released another version of it. This new version definitely deserves a new video. Therefore, I will be working on a new video. There's an entire shopping list of new features that I can't wait to show you guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that video. I'm actually hoping to collaborate with Con on this video so that we can get all of the details out so that you guys know exactly how to use this plugin to its fullest abilities. All right, remember, I put out a new video every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, but if you have your notifications turned on, you don't actually have to remember that because YouTube is going to remind you every time I put out a new video. All right, that's it for me. Until next Friday, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.